The matter in my heart is education. Coming from a public school, I definitely can see my teachers working hard and they're not getting paid as much as they should be. I know personally my 8th grade teacher had a second job. He worked at Monterey Bay Kayaks, and now I help him babysit his daughter and his second child, and I know it's really rough for him right now. And so I do as best as I can to help him, and I know he deserves a higher salary.
One of the biggest matters in my heart is travel. It's so important to me to be able to spread culture with others and really experience the lives of others and be able to empathize with those who aren't as fortunate as I am.
I've really enjoyed this year's TEDx. I like the variety of speeches that we've heard this morning. I am a daughter and a sister of public school teachers, and so living with them and growing up and hearing their challenges and just seeing how hard they work, it was really cool to see someone like Nineveh Caligari, having been a teacher, really speaking out for raising the profession to the level of professionalism that it deserves. And so that's talk really inspired me, and I'm glad it's being recorded because there are a lot of figures that she gave that were I'd like to have in writing, and I would love to share the link with my family. And I also really enjoyed Imran Siddiqui's talk about how movies not only reflect our culture but definitely shape it, and how he asked, what movies do you see about people that are not like you? And I probably, with books and movies, don't necessarily always read things that I can't relate to personally. And so he challenged us to watch videos that we do relate to, but to also take note of stories about people that are totally different from us. And I really think it kind of ties in with how the girls at Catalina have watched misrepresentation and just being aware of media bias and how media, it does reflect some truth, but there's also bias in everything, and we just need to take note. So I'm really enjoying it, and I'm excited to see the second half.
The passions of all the speakers really inspired me to continue my passion in writing and the humanities, and they really taught me that going for something that they really love and really enjoy can also affect the greater community and humanity as a whole.
My matter of the heart is inclusive education and basic civil rights for people with disabilities. I have a daughter who was born with Down syndrome, and she has been fully included her whole life in the public school system. She is now a senior, and she is going off to college next year, and we're thrilled and excited, but it has been a battle. So anyone who can understand special education and the rights of students with disabilities and help advocate for them to become fully included in their school environments or receive the education they need to succeed would be terrific.
I was inspired by the TED Talks today to always remember to keep an open heart and mind.
It has been so inspiring to me to hear about gender equality, and for me that's so important that we see awareness in this in other fields, especially the media, because it's so influential on today's youth and what we're going to be doing. And the fact that we have this here for us is so important because we are getting this experience, and most people don't have the good fortune to experience this insight.
My matter of the heart is my students here at Santa Catalina, and I could not be more proud today of what I have witnessed in everyone's efforts in putting today's events together. And I have to say, and I think many of you know this, I am somewhere in the background of many events. So it is rare that I come to an event that I have had absolutely nothing to do with. And I am absolutely overtaken with emotion at what all of you have accomplished. I am very impressed. I am very thankful, and it gives me great hope in the future of school and the future of our country. So I'm grateful that I could be one of the 100 to attend.
Today all the speakers have really impacted me, but I think my favorite one was probably about the teachers. To think that teachers aren't respected, but everyone's successful as having gone through teachers is just absurd. I think that teachers are the driving force, and especially for our generation, we're the ones that are going to have to deal with all the problems, and we're also going to be the inventors, and I think teachers deserve so much more respect than they're getting, and for them to work 2 jobs is crazy. I think that all the speakers were great, and a matter to my heart is really family, and what spoke to me was 1 person of passion is a lot more meaningful than 40 that were interested.
I think the speaker that stood out to me the most was the one that spoke about teachers. And teachers are the most important thing in our community. I mean, these people, they educate us, and being a student myself, I think it's very important that we have passionate teachers that are willing to give everything to teach us what they want us to learn. And I think that students in today's community are growing Americans, and they're going to be the next entrepreneurs, doctors, and teachers themselves. So I think it's very important that we give them the opportunity to be able to educate us.
A matter of my heart is definitely music, because it's been something I've done since I was little, and it's something I'm passionate about. So when I'm on stage, I feel just sort of like that's it's something I can do without worrying, something I can do and be totally relaxed.
I really enjoyed Mr. Sneaky's speech because I really felt like it touched on a lot of modern topics. So it's about how movies can better represent gender.
Well, basically, what I want to say is I really enjoyed the content provided by the speakers that we've heard from so far today. But the main thing that I've kept thinking about over and over in listening to it was just how proud I am of my students, and how what an amazing job they did putting together this really impressive, very professional, quality event, and how well the selections of speakers just illustrates everything that they're getting from their Catalina education. I'm proud to play whatever modest role I have been able to play in educating young women who can produce programs like this and plainly find the subjects that it deals with and the questions it raises as interesting as they do. So anyway, that's mainly the bottom line is I'm proud of my students.
I would just second that sentiment. I feel very proud to be a part of Santa Catalina. I think that this has been a very inspirational morning. I think some of the best things we do as schools is we spread ideas and we look to inspire people, and I think we have a responsibility to capture the best ideas in our community and locally, and it just feels really good to be a part of that, to get to offer that to our students and to other members of our community. So I'm very proud of Santa Catalina and our students today.
Our students rock.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the TEDx event in Catalina today, but the thing that strikes me, as it has in the past, is what a national embarrassment is that we can't educate all students at the level we do here in Catalina and many of the other fine schools in the country. Every student in this country has a right to be educated at that level, and it's a tragedy, and it needs to be addressed somehow. I don't know where the solution is going to come from. That's what strikes me about the talks today. It's just the impact teachers have on students' lives and how we need to sort this out. Thank you.
Thank you.
I learned to look at my teachers in a different way and really appreciate them.
My favorite speaker was Janine Pachuni because she talked about passion and following your passion, and it also connected to the last video in which she said passion is one of the traits of the most successful people.
I really found a bit of a Caligari conversation about teaching. I've been a teacher for a long time, and one of the reasons I became a teacher was I found so many people in my youth powerful and important. And I come from teachers, so I know that they aren't valued the way they should be in our culture. And also, as a teacher, I just appreciated hearing from somebody I respect and somebody so articulate that maybe what we do matters. That was wonderful. I also found the last talk fantastic. The idea that a follower matters and that followers are powerful and can make a movement change lives in a way that not just a leader, you have to have everybody. And we are always telling people to be leaders, but if everybody were a leader, we would have chaos, it would be crazy. And having people who have strong beliefs but don't start movements valued is a really important thing. So I love today, and I think it's wonderful the hard work these girls did.
My favorite speech so far has been Janine Paccioni. She's actually our mock trial coach, so I know her personally. Her speech has really inspired me to reach my goals and to fight for what I believe in no matter what the struggles are. I mean, she had all these things pressing against her in this case, yet she pressed on and she got justice for this teenager. And I think that's really inspiring, and it really makes me want to fight for justice and stand up for the wrongs I see in the world.
I've really enjoyed all of the speakers here today, but the first speaker about teachers was probably the one that spoke to my heart the most. As a teacher myself, I've thought a lot about these issues, and I've worked in both public school and private school. And I do really feel what she's saying. I've felt outside of school the lack of respect that she mentioned, and also that we should value our teachers more. But I always thought that was a great idea. Hearing the statistics about how much we would have been paid if we've been putting the same money into teachers as we've been putting into other parts of education was really eye-opening. I also enjoyed the second speaker a lot. He made me think about issues that I hadn't thought about in watching movies ever before. It was very different than what I thought it would be, but very interesting. And the last speaker was excellent. She was moving. I'm going to go recruit.
I really enjoyed hearing the young woman who graduated from Catalina talk about teachers and education. As an independent school teacher, I've always been grateful that we have it so much better than the public school teachers. And it is an outrage what they put up with and what they have to go through in order to do their jobs. And it's not just an outrage for members of our profession, but as I thought she pointed out beautifully, the real issue is what it's doing to our country and all the young people who sit in 40 kids in a classroom with one teacher hoping to get an education. And in a country like ours, that just doesn't have to be that way. So I really enjoyed her passion and the passion of all the speakers in talking about what's important to them. It made me feel luckier and more passionate about what I do as well.